All right, attempting a first time, trying to get this little mean mug here created onto this somehow. This is a black kind of masked balaclava. I've got my EVA foam. Unfortunately, I got the thin stuff. Might have to double up on some pieces. Never done a project like this before, so I'm gonna try my best and we'll see how it comes out and looks when we're all said and done. Stay tuned, true believers. Okay, so I drew out this pattern. I went about 2 inches up. I actually measured 8, but I decided to go 9 to give it a little wrap around here on the temples. So we're 4.5 here in the middle, and gonna try, and we did kind of the little, here's the brow V. So I'm gonna try to cut out this pattern here, shape it that way. And I'm doing it on a piece of paper first to try and see. I can't only have one hand here, so I can't, let's see if I can wrap this around. But to me, that looks right about the right size. I'm gonna have to reevaluate the shape. And like I said, I might have to double it up. But for a pattern, that looks pretty good. So let's see what comes next. All right, so this is the foam already cut. I tried to double it up. I'm using hot glue. Don't know if it's the best glue to use. Like I said, this is the first time I've been doing it. Seems to be holding together, but then of course, you know, all the little cracks in between. I may have to just try to seal it like caulking or something with the hot glue and see what happens. But as for the actual piece, size-wise, I think it works. Like I said, I only got one hand here. And I don't know. I'm going to try and put it on and see what happens. Before I put it on, though, I am actually going to cut in the rock shape formation. For lack of anything else, I think I'm going to try and copy this exactly. Maybe just those lines. When I was a kid, I used to draw. There'd be like a little lightning bolt here, a couple straight lines. That's why this figure is pretty on point. Kind of captures the original rock formations of the thing. So I'll try to cut those in first before I glue down, because once it's glued down, I'm not going to really have a great way to dial it in or detail it in. So let's see what happens. So I've got my forehead piece kind of cut and measured, doubled up and sealed. I drew the lines on it. I did cut them and then, you know, retrace them with a pencil so they have a little black line in them. And then now it's just a matter of shaping and placing. I'm going to try to heat it up so that it'll kind of curve and bend, and then I'm going to try and hot glue it down on the balaclava. We'll see how it looks. Hopefully the hot glue and the balaclava and the foam all want to work together. And once we get that, we'll see if we're in business or not. Stay tuned. All right, so this is the brow glued onto the balaclava. I mean, it's hard to say without the whole thing being finished how it's gonna look. But as far as like a Ben Grimm kind of brow, almost looks like a visor, but it's all going to depend if it, you know, how it looks on my face after it's all done. I mean, the goal here is not to be totally comic accurate. I'm just trying to get away with a fun Halloween mask for the night. So if that's the case, I think we're looking good. So I think the easiest thing to do would probably be fill in the bricks on the head, but the hardest thing is going to be the nose, around the eyes, even figuring out what the mouth's going to be all about. But maybe just to kind of get some stuff going, I might start doing the head. Let's see. Stay tuned. All right, so I'm doing single on this foam just to see what happens. Drew just a couple patterns. I wanted to, or not patterns, just drew some shapes on there. I measured out kind of the half of the head to just kind of figure out where these things would go. Just kind of eyeballed some sketches. I'll cut them out and cut them if I need to, you know, where I need to go. But I wanted to get him close on this actual page or on this sheet, so I could see how they would kind of place together like a puzzle, so that when I glue them down, I knew how to glue, you know, they would glue kind of in this arrangement. So that way I have very little space in between. So let's see if that works. All right, so this is the first kind of attempt at bricks on the head. I think this first piece is a little too big. I might try to, by design, I kind of cut some stuff, maybe even on the paint. But looking at the top, you know, just kind of fracturing up some pieces, you know, I don't think that's terrible. I don't think that's too bad. I think with, you know, as a base, I think that's decent. I think I can work with that. Like I said, it's all going to come down to the paint and design. But, I mean, for somebody with like a brick head, I mean, it's not terrible for, you know, considering I've never done this before. But let's try to get the other part of the head on and let's see. I mean, you know, not too shabby, if I do say so myself. All right, here's the new pattern for the left side, if I got that right. Trying a little smaller pieces, but I took a little pattern of the head over there and just kind of mapped it on here so I could get kind of the shapes kind of there. Drew them on the foam. I'm gonna cut them and paste them. And let's see how this looks. Woo! Okay, here's a shot of the left side. And I think this side came out a little better because I did smaller pieces. There's gaps in between for sure, but I got plenty of scraps if I need to fix it. I honestly think once it's colored, the gaps will look cool because it'll be kind of like the black outlines, but if they're too thick, I might fill them up. This side, yeah, what I might do is, you know, take a razor blade or something around here or over here and then just kind of space out the gap. And then, you know, when I paint it and color it, make it look more jagged and rocky. But left side came out pretty good. So coming along, looking, you know, I mean, trying to have a vision for it. Like I said, it's all going to depend how it looks when it's done. But coming along pretty good. All right, so here we are, my attempt at the face. So for this balaclava, it's got this kind of round, kind of ski mask mouth, and I didn't think that was gonna work with my mouth. And Ben Grimm has such a pronounced kind of upper lip and lower jaw. Granted, my teeth aren't gonna go that wide through here. But what I did was I kind of put an upper lip kind of piece above the hole and a lower jaw piece. And the goal is that when my mouth, or actually the intent, is that when my mouth gets under the balaclava, hopefully, I mean, the balaclava doesn't really move to your mouth, but it kind of covers the hole. So you'll see maybe my lips here, I don't know, but hopefully if I try to talk, it'll kind of respond. But I mean, I don't know. It's coming together pretty good. So we'll see. All right. Here's the mask on, but not finished. And one thing I didn't take into consideration is when I started gluing down all these pieces, they would basically pull away the elasticity of the balaclava. So, you know, it's a pretty snug fit right now, especially over the nose and the mouth. I mean, my nose is totally squished. I tried to squeeze it out a little bit and some pieces came off. But for the most part, looking at my head, I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, like I said, the nose and the mouth are down here. I'm gonna have to maybe
shave my mustache, but if I do like this, hey, it's clobbering time, it actually kind of works. I mean, it's super tight and uncomfortable, but will it look, you know, will it be enough for a Halloween costume? I mean, I'm going to have to scoot this all down without popping stuff off, but, you know, there's Ben Grimm. Hey, I'm Ben Grimm. How long? Anyways, got some work to do. Gonna paint it next. Let's see what happens.
And basically, here's where I ended up. I like the color. I did some black outlines with a Sharpie just to kind of fill in those cracks. Some of the face ones I traced to get a little more definition, but I think the top of the head doesn't really meet it because of the spacing. That's a little white piece in between there, but for kind of a makeshift Halloween costume, and not ever really doing this before, I think it looks pretty good. I was going to get closer around the eyes, and I was going to go really detailed, but then after I tried the mask on and I realized it didn't really stretch that well, I didn't want to kind of mess it up even more. And also too, like you might say, well, why'd you stop here? Well, I figure with the costume, this part of the mask is going to go into the shirt. It's going to be the neck. And I think that's going to be covered by the sweater I'm wearing. So, and I think it, like I said, it would mess up kind of the flexibility of the balaclava, the elastic here. So I think this is as far as we're gonna go. But I mean, I don't know, man. For my first time, I think we did okay. I think we did all right. So there you go. There it is, my Ben Grimm mask. What do you say? Let's try it on, huh?
Well, here it is. Your ever-loving blue-eyed thing. Well, I'm actually brown-eyed, but it's uncomfortable. I should have put like a bridge or something in for the nose. But I think for Halloween, it's gonna work. All right. So, thanks for watching. And it's clobbering time. Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween, everybody. This is the costume with the mask. Check it out. I love you.